job, sweetheart. Good job. Good job. Good job. And just send that old energy on. Send it on. Okay. Okay. Send it on. Send it on. And just work through that. Working through it. Good job. Good job, babies. Good job. Good job. Good job. Good job. Good job. Just good job. Good job. Good job. And I'm just going to take little bits from around your energy to move it on, to release it, to find structure, movement, hope, balance, love, peace, all that stuff. And just take that out. Sometimes we just need a little help to take that out, to remove that. Take it, take it, take it, take it, take it. Take it. Take it. Take it. Take it. Take it. Okay. Just move it through. Move it through. Move it through. Move it through. Just work that. Work that through. Work that through. Work that through. Work that through. And just move that. You know, sometimes you gotta just let some stuff go. Release it into the universe and move it. Whenever you have something that just feels like it's holding you back and you can't ever really align yourself to what it is that you truly want or go in the direction, you can't stick in that direction. What it is your body is vibrating at a certain energetic level and you just have to break that. And sometimes it is so tough because when we're in a certain vibrational state for a long time, we start to imprint that vibrational state all around us. So not only do we feel that way, our home feels that way, how people interact feels like that with us, our friends, our family. That is the feeling. So when you try to break that and you try to shift yourself and you notice that everything outside of you is still the same, that's because it has a very strong hold on you. But also understand that when you vibrate at a different level, a level that is versus just getting started. The same with important people in your life. When you have those important people in your life, sometimes it is hard to let them go because they won't support that energy. They won't support your growth. They won't support your transformation. They won't support your change. Babies, I'm going to tell you, so many people I had to let go as I continued to blossom or bloom. Didn't mean I loved them less. No, loved them so much. But I also understood that I was being called for something bigger and something greater than what they had known me to be. And I had to continue to go on that journey. I always invite people to come with me, but I ain't waiting. And the beautiful thing about it is when I started to go in a new journey, and this is what will happen to you, new people present themselves, they show up, and they give you so much love and care and attention and support, and that really matters. You're never really alone. You're never really going to, fall forward and just completely ruin everything. It's not like that. You're basically changing your vibrational state, and that's scary, but it's okay. But that's how you break those different habits. Now, in different lineages and different understandings, those negative habits that keep you stuck, they may call them curses, they may call them bad karma, they may call them just different kinds of names. But over the years and my experience of looking into these things, it is you are vibrating at a certain energetic level, and you need to break that. But to break it, it will be uncomfortable. People think that if you break it, it's instantly easy. No, your mind has convinced you, your energy has convinced you that doing what is best for you is bad. That's why even though you're not happy in this moment of what's not working, you feel comfortable. You feel like it's at home. It's a kind of a stagnation. No, get uncomfortable with where you want to go. Believe me, your dreams aren't too big. They really aren't. And the only way you can really start to share those beautiful gifts out with the universe, out with the world, is if you take the risk to bet on yourself. I've watched many people over the years sacrifice all of their beautiful gifts because they were too afraid. What were they afraid of? They don't even know what they're afraid of. But most of it was imposter syndrome. just moving this over you. You don't have to do anything except just relax. This is a wonderful moment to check in with you to see how magical March has been going. How has things been for you? Have you tried any of the methods we have been talking about? Have you tried anything else? There's so many ways to manifest. Of course, we went through the elements. One more left, it's not forgotten. Of course, we went through the elements. And we talked about just internal activation. And this is really a moment to discuss tools, okay? Like we can use crystals, we can use herbs, we can use various liquids. But the most important thing is that these things be accessible, okay? To be able to utilize any of these principles or any of these paths to manifesting while you just have yourself. So whether that is a financial resource thing, or maybe it's just, hey, I don't feel like I need to buy more stuff. Whatever the reason is for you, you should be able to utilize these things with the bare minimum, because the most important thing is working on the inside. And so we have various methods. We have the 369 method, in which you write what you want as if it has already happened, and you start 3 times in the morning, 6 times in the afternoon, and 9 times at night, and you write it every day. Or the 555 method, where you write things out 5 times, write it 5 times, and then just continue to write it like that. In general, what you're doing is you're changing your vibrational frequency. Now, so much of our life is about what we attract and more of how we are interpreting life. And I think that within the spiritual community, especially the community that manifests, let's change the conversation from attracts, because then people always pop up and say weird things like, did someone attract this negative thing happening to them? And let's switch the conversation to be able to say how we are perceiving and our perceptions of life, okay? And with that conversation, it's more of expanding the dialogue to say, how do we gear our interpretation of the world? Do you lean more optimistic? Do you lean more pessimistic? And typically people will lean more pessimistic if they've had exposure to trauma that has not been resolved, or they have faced abuse, or just numerous things, because that is the reality that they've lived. And typically a person can lean more optimistic if they were much more insulated, maybe much more protected in their society or protected in their home. And so the way that you perceive life can also lend a hand into how you go about your day each and every day. If you wake up in the morning like, oh, I'm ready to take on life, you're more than likely to discover new things to take on. But if you kind of are wearing the weight of the world on your shoulder, it's much harder to be optimistic, and you see how that cycle happens. So one who is optimistic could say, oh, simply the answer is optimism, and the one who is more pessimistic could say, but what about all these external factors? And both of them understand that some do not have access to the same access you have, or even to the knowledge of how. Because most of our world as an individual is here. A lot of the magic in these magical concepts, it feels like it's outside of us. It feels like it's the crystal. It feels like it's the spray. It feels like it's the herb. It feels like it's all of these things. But it is inside of you. That's where it's really at. And we use these things as tools, reminders, or based on their vibrational principles, things that activate aspects or reminds the internal. But you don't need this. You don't need any of this stuff. You only need you. You have the power, and it starts really with training your mind. You do that through your channeling, through your meditation, through your practicing of manifesting and creating the environment, the vibrational environment that you want. And I know that that's a lot to put on you, but it's a good question to ask. How has your March been going? Go ahead and tell me in the comments section, and be honest. It's okay. Whether it's been going really well or nothing's happened, or it didn't go in the way that you expected, it is okay. The origins of what you want are much more important than what its external manifestation is, okay? The external manifestation will come when it needs to. But let's get to the root. 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 Let's get the root to the let's just inhale, exhale, to exhale the root. Inhale, let's exhale, inhale, exhale the root. Inhale, let's get to the root. Let's go ahead and do a prayer. It is not a religious prayer, just a prayer to root us in our individual connections and to bring us together as a community. And because consent matters, do I have your permission to say a prayer? Okay. And remember, you have your own prayer. Rewrite the prayer. Make it and incorporate it into what you need. Okay? So I have your permission. Okay. Dear Mother, Father, God, and all for the highest vibration of good only, please connect us to the Reiki Masters, the Ascended Masters, Master Jesus, Master Buddha, Master Katumi, Monjao, Shumawu, and all the Taras. Please connect us to the Archangels, Spirit Guides, Animal Guides, Ancestors, and Lineage, and all for the highest vibration of good only, rooting us down in our individual healing experience and bringing us forth as a community. I say all of this in the name of I Am Ashe. 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 Okay. I think you will find that deep down inside, you already have what you've been longing for. I think you will find your heart and see it as if it has already happened. And I want you to connect with how it makes you feel on the inside. How does this make you feel? 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 How do 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 you feel? So, bringing that on the forefront, bringing it close to your heart, bringing it upwards, bringing it, 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 bringing it and allowing it to be placed, 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 placed in your heart. Good job. Good job. Good job. Well, family, you did a fantabulous job. A fantastic job. You have to be open and okay with accepting yourself as you are. You have to be open and okay with being 100% in love with yourself as you are. You have to surrender to the understanding that within you, you hold every piece of magic you need in order to manifest the life and the environment you want. That you are the key. It's not a person. It's not a situation. It's not a circumstance. It's not some external environmental thing. You are the key to changing your reality. Now, when your reality changes, others are probably not going to change in the same trajectory as you. And that is okay. It is a part of the process. That is fine. Just be okay with you. Just love you. Take a deep breath. One more. To have permission to touch you. Okay. Dear universe, and all for the highest vibrational good only, please connect us to our highest self and validate information for our highest intentions only. Please allow us to let go of that which we need to let go and to embrace what allows us to grow. Let our journey encompass the lineages, traditions, religions, and spiritual cinnamon out and just kind of start with, some grounding energy here. So the cinnamon grounds your energy. I'm just going to place this all around you. And just be patient here. Breathe into this. Exhale. Release. And start to open yourself up to letting go. When you're ready to release what is no longer for you, you start to move in a new and different path, in a different direction. But sometimes in transit, it can be a little bit scary. So I just want to remind you there's nothing to be scared of. It's going to be okay. And new, sometimes new because it's new. We want to call it scary. It's not scary at all. Just something we haven't experienced before. And if you're patient and you give yourself time to do that, you'll get so much out of that. You'll be able to do things in a really beautiful way, on a really lovely level. So, I'm gonna start to take this out. Take this. Take anything that's taking up too much space out, and remove it from your energy, so you don't have to walk around with that which is weighing you down. So inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, and just move that energy through like that. Move that energy through like that, and just moving that this way and that way. Clearing that out, clearing that out, clearing that out, clearing that out, and just removing that negativity from around your energy, your crown, anything that may make you overthink or make it difficult for you to just enjoy this beautiful life we have. I guarantee there's nothing out there that's really that serious enough to make you not see how beautiful it is to be alive. There are many really messed up things that happened in the universe, but just the fact that you're breathing, it's the only permission you need to enjoy this life. Remove any of the expectations that others are trying to place on you. More importantly, remove the expectations you're trying to place on yourself. And vibrate at an energetic frequency that is best for you. That frequency that brings light through you to share with others. That you are living out this purpose, and you're living it in a big and full way. And you're sharing it with us. Sweetness. So I'm going to work on your energy here. Just working through a couple of things associate yourself with a vibrational state that no longer works for you. And remove and move out all those little pieces that have taken up too much space in your life that you're ready to let go of. And just move through that sweetness. You are doing a lovely, lovely job. You're doing a fantastic job. Just keep breathing through this. Just keep breathing through this and relax, 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 and just move it through, 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 sweetness. Relax, 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 relax. Just move that energy through, releasing every little piece, every little piece, every little bit, every little ounce that needs to be taken off. Okay, I'm gonna go back for the cinnamon, and I'm going to get a stone. The stone is going to be specular hematite. So this is our cinnamon, and so this is specular hematite. Hematite is really lovely for grounding, but it's also for transformation. So sometimes, yeah, you can see it's very shiny. As if you can see yourself in it. Anyway, specular hematite is really lovely for transformation. As you can see, it has this very glittery surface to it. And what it reminds us is, and I'm going to just work this through your energy, when there are moments in our lives where we have to get outside of our comfort zone in order to accomplish something important, we should always encourage ourselves to do it. Sometimes that means walking away too. You gotta walk away from certain people, certain energy, and just leave it where it's at. Just leave it to where it's at. And remove it. Remove it. Remove it. Remove it. Remove it. Remove it from that almost like sealing it and breathing that in here. Good job, babies. You're doing a fantastic job. And as you know, Mama loves you. So work through this. Moving, shifting, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling, and working that energy through, working that energy through, working that energy through, working that energy through. I'm just going to kind of smooth it over your face and just calm you down, sweetness. Calm you down, 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 calm your energy down, just calming, 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 calm your energy down, calming, 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 working with that, working with that, and just as you just let go of everything. Deep breaths in, exhale, move through the moment, release and let go, keep going here, and let go, release and let go. Release and let go, 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 and move this energy all around you. Allow it to surround your energy and let go, let go, let go, let go, let go, let go. The most important thing is the self-care aspect of it, so you get to choose what you do, and we do this Monday through Friday. And on the weekends, that's when you go and you have fun. So, welcome to all my new babies, and welcome back to all my returning babies. Mama loves you. Okay. So, as we work on restoring your energy, it's going to be pulling away excess energy, negative energy, any kind of feelings that are anxious or anything like that, maybe even overthinking, cooling and calming down the aura. But before we get started, we say a prayer. It is not a religious prayer. It is a prayer to root us in our individual healing experience and to bring us together as a community and as a collective. And because consent matters, do I have your permission to say a prayer? Okay. May I touch you? Okay. You ready? Take a deep breath. it's changed over time. It's going to continue to change. I always encourage everyone to change, keep changing, and keep growing. So now we're going to get into the restoration part. So just relax your energy down. Take your time. Take your time. And let's just work on overthinking first, okay? Because sometimes we can be really tired, but the mind is just like... So let's go for the thoughts first. Each little thought, each little thought, each little thought, each little thought, just take it. Take it. Take it. Take it. Each little thought, each little thought, each little thought, each little thought. Little thought, each little thought. Just take it out. And let's just smooth over. Okay. Okay. And just remember to continue your breathing here. It's really important. It doesn't have to be too deep, but it shouldn't be too shallow. Just be mindful, be regular with it, because a lot of times in everyday life we actually don't breathe deep enough. And so just think about all of the oxygen we are cutting off from our brain, and a lot of times a lot of just mindful breaths can really help alleviate some of the just everyday symptoms we have of just not having that oxygen to our brain and to our body. But sometimes when we breathe so deeply, we get lightheaded, which can be a good thing if you are like anxious and you just feel like all over the place. Sometimes those deep breaths kind of just calm you down. Another thing for anxiety is like if you could physically go into action and burn off the excess energy. I actually got that from Netflix. Has this series. It's called Explained. That's what it's called. They talk about a lot of stuff, but they were talking about the mind. They have this kind of like, it's like a limited series about the mind. So good. And then they went over anxiety. Oh, that was really good. And they were talking about how like your body gets in a state of fight or flight when you're anxious. And they were talking about, well, how do you relieve that, and what systems shut down when you're anxious? But one way to burn off that excess energy is, as they were saying, like exercise or something that really takes movement. And I'm like, wow, that's free. That's free. Just run around a little bit. But it's just very interesting and very fascinating, you know. And I think what really like got me was the evolutionary perspective of us as a species, you know, like where our species is about 200,000 years old. You know, hominids date back probably over 6 million years, but our specific species, Homo sapiens, it started around 200,000 years ago. And so for us to have these instincts that make sense because of how we developed in that moment, but how we continue to carry these instincts now today when we have different situations, when things are much different, it's just so amazing. So it explains why someone can be very fearful or anxious of something that really can't physically hurt them, because our wiring as a species and our adaptability to a new environment has now made us believe that this thing can like this instinct that we have, these things that our, species as a whole has in order to kind of make it through life, has now adapted to our modern day environment. So when someone is having a deep anxiety, a panic attack or something like that, it feels like, true danger is happening. And so the reason why I wanted to explain it is that life isn't just happening to you. You have more power than you know, but I think power comes from understanding what's happening first. And when you understand what's happening first, you then empower yourself to be able to make changes or to be in control of how you want to move or what works best for you. I say it all the time, it is important to know what's going on in your body. It's important to understand your lineage and your legacy, because baby, let me tell you something. If you go through life and you have a string of unfortunate events, if you do not know your lineage or your legacy or your ancestors, you might just think other people have it easy. You might just think it's happening to you. But when you have these stories of resilience and you have these stories of people that you come from that have made it through, similar situations or worse, you start to realize, oh, I'm built for this, But if you don't, if you're disconnected and you're just, kind of like a island, then you don't get the benefits of knowing that for generations, people of this species have been able to get to the other side. Because for us, we think the beginning of time is whenever we were born, and then we start to realize through history and, things like that, that time has existed before this moment. And that's the biggest cheat code in life, to pay attention, to pay attention to history. That's actually, it's a sign of a great civilization if they continue to not only document their history, but document the history that is before. Because sometimes when you delete a lot of history, which has happened over and over again, the group of people, they have to start all over again. So they have to rediscover things. And it's just so amazing that now we are in a world where everything is pretty much, connected. And we are moving so fast. Like, think about it. We just started to farm agriculture 20,000 years ago. Before that, we were all, nomadic. And then as we started to farm agriculture, we made the first civilizations. It was no longer like, small groups just going about. We now had infrastructure. And then, we started to develop technology. We started to harness things and be able to amplify it. And it's like, if you look at our progressive nature of the inventions we've made as a species, it's like this. And then where we are now is like so I say all of that to say, I know it seems a little bit all over the place, but I say all that to say we're working on you getting out of your own way, because you are contributing to this big picture. That's why I'm always explaining these long stories, because you have to understand that you are contributing to this big picture. So you may feel like in the moment that you are not motivated, or you're anxious, or sometimes you just be like, should I really continue to do X, Y, and Z? But just know that you are contributing to the big picture, and it's okay to handle what you may feel moment to moment when times are maybe not going your way, or you have to adjust to a lot of change and things like that. But know that what you do matters. It matters. It matters, and you should put yourself out there. You should put your energy out there for us to be able to enjoy and to share, because that is what is moving us as a species. It's amazing, Let's just move this through a little bit more. I love reading stories of especially autobiography. reason, some type of insecurity that came up, and that insecurity probably shows as anxiety, or if you have a lot of tough things that happen at once, then it might go into a bit of a depression and just all of these other things that may come up as well. And it's just so fascinating that them deciding, okay, well, fuck it, I'm gonna figure it out and just keep going, then they were able to tap into their ability, which they were able to do it, and things just become less anxious because they faced it. And so I say that to say that it is completely normal however you're feeling at all times. There's no such thing as like the normal life. You ever heard people like, I just want to be normal? Baby, there's no such thing. But like the way you're experiencing life is really how people experience life. It'd be like over here, up here, down there, like all kinds of places. That's normal. That is the norm. That's the norm. So let's normalize the real norm. So sweetness, I hope this brought smiles to your face as we're going through this healing, because sometimes you just gotta laugh, I think about it often. I'm always thinking about the big picture, and I know that, you all probably like it, but sometimes I can tell that people in my life is like, girl, we just trying to get something to eat today. I'm like, but think about them. But think about the macro perspective, and then in the same hand, I do have friends who are like, they want to just get real deep and real weird, and I'm like, look, I can do that, but I don't need to do it every day, okay, girl, or you. So all of that to simply say, life is just this big canvas, and you can paint it any kind of way, and you can use any type of energy. And when you're harnessing the different types of energy that you have, whether things are going up or things are going down, you can harness the energy. But when you're in the moment, it feels exactly how it feels. If it's good times, it feels great. If it's like shitty times, it doesn't feel good at all. It's all of those things at one time. And if you can find your grounding, or find your sense of balance wherever you're at along the journey, and just be like, let me experience these emotions, let me not react, but let me harness whatever I need to harness from it and be purposeful in it. You then start to always make movements, even if things appear not to be. Setbacks are just like, opportunities in your next story, that in the other story it looked like, the end of a chapter or the end of something. So that's how it works. And sometimes you can't be like happy-go-lucky all the time. Sometimes you do need to be a little bit reserved. Sometimes you do need to be excited. Sometimes you do need to be chilling your energy. Sometimes you need to be like, motivated. All of these things and these feelings that you experience are normal. That's all. So I'm going to continue to take out any doubt you may have. Anything taking up too much space. And moving the energy through. Mine was this like very lavender, purple color. I was like, yeah, that's me. Very much so me, always into everything that's like crown chakra and things like that, the highest self, blah 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 blah. I'm like, yup. So I wonder what color your aura is. So as you're breathing in and out, just release and relax. And just find peace in this moment, okay? With yourself. And be open to internal changes that happen. Completely normal. Sometimes it's like you get hungry, you're like, what is that? It's normal, baby, it's normal. And just relax in the moment. And just shifting. And so what you'll probably be feeling in this moment is, it really is different for each person. But it might feel like that's the best way to describe it, like a subtle shift in your energy. I feel like that didn't help, right? Sometimes it's a cooling sensation, sometimes it's a warmth, sometimes it's described as a chill, but just going in a certain direction. There's no wrong answers, everybody's body is different, and we should honor that. Sometimes people feel nothing at all, and that's okay too. Don't force yourself to feel like you need to feel anything. Okay. Just honor this beautiful body you are in now. I don't know, something about this month is just like, you just love yourself even more. You feel me? Like you're just like, oh, I love me, exactly as you are. Doesn't mean that you can't do whatever it is you want to do, but at the core, just loving yourself unconditionally for every aspect, internally, mentally, emotionally, physically, all that stuff. I don't know, maybe it's something in the water or the air, whatever, I'm down for it. Also, for those who are interested in the Reiki Master Teacher Training, I have not forgotten you all. It will actually be happening in September, so updating the site, and you're gonna have all that information there. Mama has been very busy. And I take the training very seriously, so I will not put out anything that is not of the highest quality, and that's just me. It is what it is. And as I've told people before, if you feel like you need to get a training right now, there are tons of great practitioners out there who can help along the journey. And for those who really feel like this is where it's at, you know what? It's worth the wait. But again, it is not a requirement. You do not have to go through me. Okay. I guess for me, as I'm working on your energy, mentorship is really important, and having enough time and resources to be able to actually give people the background this no fear energy. What's coming in front for you, you know? What energy do you want to connect to and connect with so deeply? What fears are you facing? You know, when you face your fears, sometimes it's not even this scary thing, but more of this dismantling of a thought system that is just not real. And dismantling those thoughts, sometimes it's like the only thing you really have to do. Like, that's not real. And you show up the next day and you're like, oh wow, I wasted a lot of time thinking that this was real when it wasn't. But also know that there are sometimes that take a lot of steps. Like, you really have to face a fear. You really have to feel uncomfortable, you know, blase. And that's okay. That is okay. So, I'm gonna just take a couple moments here. And you can choose to have your hands in any position. Hands up if you're trying to receive, hand down if you're like, oh, I got too much energy, I'm trying to calm down. Okay. Good job. Energy in and out. And just working on it. In the moment. So in this moment, look, I'm always trying to teach some shit. In this moment, super expensive electronic device when sometimes all you have is you. And so it teaches how to, you to regulate yourself. But again, I tell people all the time, there are other things that you should be doing too. Like if you're lucky enough to have access to adequate health insurance, I know you better be getting a therapist, you better be going to the doctor. Like, come on now. If you're that lucky, if you don't take your ass somewhere. And then I've also been on the other side where you go to certain places and then you kind of get funneled into like maybe a system that isn't solving your problem, so it requires you to go out and get some more to it. And my favorite combination is being able to see through your actual medical documentation that there are shifts and changes happening through your body with a combination of things. So I think it's nice to to see both. Hopefully that didn't go over people's head. Just some words of encouragement for those who are dealing medically. That if you are lucky enough to have medical insurance, you better use that shit. Okay. Okay. Got it. Got it, got it, got it, got it, got it. Just continuing to enjoy this energy. Okay. Now tell me how you're doing. How's it going? Oh my gosh, I'm gonna go ahead and do I forgot I had a little hoodie. Hold on. I don't know why. I think this is so freaking cute. No, it's not cute. Never mind. I don't know why I spent time doing that. Sorry. Okay. Got it. Okay. A couple more moments here. Just the energy here. Inhaling and exhaling. Being in this moment with yourself and just giving yourself lots and lots and lots and lots of love. And I know that it sounds like, okay girl, love is the solution to everything, but what I'm trying to get at is the better or the more positive associations you have with yourself, the easier you are on your body. If your body is in a perpetual state of stress, if your body is in a perpetual state of conflict that requires your organs and your regulatory systems to work much harder, but when you are in a state of love and peace and gratitude for yourself, you make it easier on yourself. So if you have other things that you're dealing with too, it exacerbates what's going on. But when you're loving and sweet to yourself, it's kind of like the first layer you have so that your body can potentially bounce back as you're going through things. So I'm just trying to be as sweet as possible. And again, you all know I'm paid in smiles, so may I touch you? Okay. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe on your own. Dear universe, and all for the highest vibrational good only, please connect us to our highest intentions and validate information from our highest self only. Please allow us to let go of what we need to let go and embrace what allows us to grow. Let our journey encompass the lineages, traditions, religions, and spiritual paths that bring light out through us to share with others. I say all of this in the name of I am. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Okay. It's going to be okay. And I think that you just needed to know that. So I'm just going to go through here and just work on your energy just to calm you down. And then we'll get into removing any I spend a lot of time trying to redefine how we define reality, which is this idea that everything needs to be perfect or normal, normal, in order for it to be valuable. But understanding that whatever experience you're having now is normal. Whatever experience that you're having is an experience worth remembering and talking about. And it comes in different colors. It comes in different feelings. And it comes in different understandings. And we have to acknowledge every little bit and piece of that. So it's going to be okay. I don't want you to overthink things. I don't want you to overstress things. Just know that It's going to be okay. 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 It's going to be. It's going to be okay. 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 I'm just getting started, okay? Take a deep breath. Let's go. Chukuri, 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 chukuri. Anja se shonyung. Anja se shonyung. Anja se shonyung. Anja se shonyung. Sahiki. 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 Nagyanyang. Shaseshana, Saiki, 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 Daikyamyana, Daikyamyana, okay, good job. Just balancing this energy out. Balancing this energy out. Balancing this energy out. Balancing this energy out. Just taking these little pieces that need to be let free, let go, send on to its next evolutionary path, and move forward. Okay, just taking each little piece, each little moment, each little lovely, 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 lovely piece. Just and just calmly going through the energy, breathing through this energy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Okay. Just going into different areas of the body and areas of the energy, and just balance here, balance here, balance here, and let's go. Chukuri, 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 anshase shonan, anshase shonan, anshase shonan, saeki, 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 daikam yodaki, yodaikam yodakiam yodakiam yodak, riku, riku, riku. Just sending that through, sending that through, sending that through, sending that through, just sending that through, sending that through, sending that, sending that through, 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 just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Just going back in. Just working through all this other little stuff to do some more Reiki symbols. Do some more Reiki symbols. Do some more Reiki symbols. Some more Reiki symbols. 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 Okay. Just go into this. Go into this. Okay, good job. Just taking each little piece, 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 just out, just out, just out, and just moving that through, and just making space here, making space here, making space in this moment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm just going to go in and just soothe the energy. Release, 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 release. Release and move this energy. It's like a little hairpiece. Anyway, so I'm stalling, so I don't have to tell you all my secrets. Anyway, I wanted to manifest a new place, and so I used a lot of sitting near a tree, if you sat near a tree and read a book, or climbing trees and things like that, it was very relaxing and very grounding. I spent most of my childhood climbing trees. And so that energy within itself impacts us. So you might notice that if you take a nice long walk in nature, a nice long walk in the forest, you feel much better. It's just getting open air is really nice too. So that concept within itself, which I'm going to expand on more, but I feel like I'm holding this tree. Put it down. I'm going to expand on that a little bit more. So as we start off the practice, we start off with a prayer. It is not a religious prayer, just a prayer to root us in our individual healing experience and bring us together as a coexisting community. And because consent matters, do I have your permission to say a prayer? Okay. Dear, may I touch you? Okay. Dear Mother, Father, God, and all for the highest vibrational good only, please connect us to the Reiki Masters, the Ascended Masters, Master Jesus, Master Buddha, Master Katumi, Yamonja, Oshun, Mawu, and all the Taras. Please connect us to the Archangel, Spirit Guide, Spirit Animals, our lineage, and all for our highest vibrational good only, rooting us down in our individual healing experience and bringing us forth as a community. I say all of this in the name of I Am. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Okay, so that is just to get us started. So, I chose the succulent. Number one, I love succulents. I don't know, it's just something about them. I've always admired them. I always thought that can sign it, you can not sign it. It's up to you of how you like to do things. So here's mine. You probably can't really see it. But I'm gonna take it, and now I'm gonna burn it. So in this moment, we're gonna use a little bit of fire. Here it is. So this could be your spell, your mantra, your petition, your reflection, your words. It's whatever it is you want. So what I wrote for mine, and I told you that for this magical March, I've been working on inside. So I said, I am so grateful to de-traumatize my life experiences and live in a space of peace. So holding myself accountable that even on the inside, as I go out in the world, I'm always living from a space of peace. And there we go. Oh, does that sound good? Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to burn it. You're going to say it over and over. You're going to concentrate on it. You can visualize it right in front of you, but you're going to burn it. And as you burn it, you let it go, you let it be, you let it just go off, right? Okay. I don't know if you noticed, but the words are already going. Okay. And we're just allowing this to move. Okay. So, as you see now, the words are gone, right? You're still going to probably see the impression of the words, but the words are gone. And then you roll it up like that. I like to roll it up real tight. I'm not going to tell you why I know how to do this. Baby, back in my youth, I had some days. I'm not old, but I'm also not young. So here it is. And this is when I would, for example, stick it right in the soil of the tree. So you can put it in between a branch, something like that. Every time you water the plant, this plant I water weekly, you want to remind yourself of that intention. Now the reason why you burn it is that you really want to activate that fire energy, the fire of initiation, and you want to allow it to be. Every time you feed it, if you happen to have spirit guides, ancestors, lineage, Orisha work, just, you could say God, you could say universe, you could say whatever it is you believe in, not what I believe in, but you believe in. That's a moment where you pay homage, you give gratitude. Thank you so much, universe, for allowing me to, and then you say whatever's on there and you just let it be. And each and every time you're going to get more actions. So the actions that you're going to receive from this will be like, call so and so, go out and do this today. It'll just be natural things that flow into you, and it's bringing you closer to this. Now, if you have something smaller like this is what I would do. So this is a little bag of crystals. I actually used to give them out when I had in-person energy healing circles. But the crystals are like the perfect size for what I'm going to show you. Okay. So this is a little mini, I don't know if you can see it that well. It's actually a little mini tiger's eye. Let me see if it works better over here. session in whatever way it is. You say a prayer, you say gratitude, you just walk around, you get in a meditation session, whatever that is. You place it between your hands and you close your hands. So give me your hands, okay? I'm gonna close my hand over your hand and we are going to infuse it with whatever intention you want, okay? Take 3 deep breaths with me. Every time you exhale, infusing the zone with that intention. 2 more. Final breath. Ashe, ashe. Okay. And you can focus as long as you want, keep it very simple. But sometimes as you're flushing through what you really want on the inside, it might take quite a while for you to just let it all go. And so we would take that and then we would place the stone on the plant, and it's the same process of every time you see the stone, you can pick it back up, you can hold it, you can recharge that intention, you can water the plant itself. Again, be very mindful of the size of the stone. If it was a very thick stone, I would say put it on the actual dirt, not on the plant. You don't want to kill the plant. Just in general, you don't want to kill your plant unless that is a part of the process. You're using some type of herb or something like that, and just allow this to grow and allow it to be. And then once you're ready, now you just have to choose a duration of time which makes sense to you. You're going to naturally feel when it is the right moment. Then you take the stone and you can use it in your practice. Now when I say you'll know the right moment, it means you might let the stone stay there for 10 minutes. You might let it stay there for 2 days, for 10 days, for 15 days or something. Whenever you're ready and whatever that intention is, especially during a trying time, you want to go ahead and get that stone, pick it up, and you can take it with you. You can use it in your practice. So you can put the stone out as a part of, say you're pulling cards. You can put it a part of your spread, and naturally allow for you to connect to which card to place this on top, which will give some clarity with that. Or you can just, like most crystals, put it in your pocket, put it in your bra, or put it wherever it is that you want to put your stone, and walk around with it and use that. If it is a healing session, you can place this stone on whichever chakra that is most appropriate for you and whatever it is that you're trying to do. But that is how you use this earth magic. Again, it's sure